Hello again. Hope you are all doing well. I'm back to talk about more and continue on this theme of figuring out how to fit in, figuring out how to navigate life a little bit, and what the essential tools are and the essential ingredients are for that, or certainly what my experience has been. So I've spoken quite a lot about this before in the past, where one of the biggest lessons I learned from being coached myself was that I really didn't have a firm grasp, even into my mid to late 30s, as someone well up the hierarchy on the career ladder in a professional career, becoming quite well established. I still didn't have a firm grasp of my own identity and values, as we'll talk about. And that was only really something that I discovered, I say, quite late in life. I don't know how much of an innings I've still got left, and I'm glad I've got to the point I'm at now. But I digress slightly. So I think identity is one of the keys to achieving what you want to achieve, um, and also achieving that sense of comfort in your own skin as well. So it's hard to know how to behave when you don't have a firm grasp of who you are and what's important to you. So, starting with identity, if you look into any of the literature around identity or read any, there's tons of articles out there about people, possibly more qualified people than me, psychologists and neuroscientists and all this kind of stuff talking about it. So I'm really just talking to you from my own experiences. So, what is identity? Obviously, there's a lot out there about, people people can identify as whatever they want. I'm not necessarily talking about gender or in pronouns and things. That is not a topic that I'm going to go near with a barge pole. So don't worry from that point of view. I'm thinking more about primarily individual identity, but it does also cross into yourself as part of kind of groups and subgroups of other people in your life as well. But primarily, you're looking for that comfort in your own skin. Who are you? How do you start to identify who you are? And you can really do this any way you want. You can name it any way you want. But the kind of things you can think about, if you want to sit and spend some dedicated time thinking about it, then just think about things like, who do you spend your time with? What do you spend your time doing? What do you want to spend your time doing? Is another question to ask yourself as well. So for the activities that you do you enjoy it? Does it energize you or does it drain you? What would you rather be doing if you're not enjoying what you are doing? And just kind of thinking about that kind of bigger picture thing. The other thing that I once did, which I found quite useful, I actually did it as part of a planning experiment at the time, although I don't do nearly as much life planning as I used to. What I did was kind of sit down and work out what my different roles in life were, both from an individual basis, from things like, I was a kind of human individual with needs from that point of view, with things that I needed to do. I was, identifying myself as a husband, a father, a brother, a friend, a doctor, a coach. And that was quite a useful thing to do because I was able to identify, actually what does it mean to be each of those things? What are the responsibilities of each of those roles? How do I want to be showing up in each of those roles? And spending some time working out how did each one kind of complement and detract from each other, so that I could kind of figure out how to balance things as well. So that's what I recommend you do. If you are someone who doesn't necessarily feel like you've achieved that comfort in your own skin, I want you to start thinking about who you are, what are your different roles in life. Ask some of those questions of yourself, like what are you spending your time doing? Do you enjoy it or not? What would you rather be doing? Let me know what roles you come up with, and how that is helping you to find some of that comfort.